Did you know that the Bible might hold the key to understanding the origins of Europeans? Imagine for a moment these ancient scriptures could reveal hidden clues about the rise of European nations that have never been uncovered before. Let's embark on a fascinating journey together, delving into an ancient mystery where it all began. And I promise you won't want to miss the incredible revelations coming in the next part of this story. Genealogies in the Bible and their connection to European nations. In the Bible, genealogies serve as crucial markers, guiding us toward understanding the origins of nations. One of the most famous genealogies is that of Noah, considered the ancestor of nations following the Great Flood. The Bible reveals that after the flood, Noah's descendants spread across different lands, and it is through these migrations that great civilizations began to form. The generations of Noah's descendants helped lay the foundations for the great civilizations we know today in Europe. These civilizations not only built great cities but also created powerful empires that left their mark on history. It is through these migrations and conflicts that we see deep connections with the history of Europe, and the Bible is a window into these untold stories. The role of Japheth and his descendants in European origins. Let us now delve deeper into one of the most significant biblical genealogies, the descendants of Japheth. According to the book of Genesis, Japheth, one of Noah's sons, is often associated with the origins of many European peoples. The Bible, in Genesis 10, tells us that Japheth's descendants spread across the earth, forming various nations, including those that would later populate Europe. In Christian traditions, Japheth's lineage is seen as the precursor to the European nations. His descendants, according to the Bible, gave rise to the peoples of ancient Greece, Rome, the Scythians, and many other tribes of Europe. These people did not just shape the land. They formed the cultural, social, and political foundations that would influence Europe for centuries to come. Could the biblical story of Japheth's descendants explain the formation of European nations? As we look at the development of Europe, we might wonder, could the migrations from the Near East after the Tower of Babel have directly influenced the formation of European societies? The Bible speaks of the dispersion of peoples after the Tower, a story that many believe mirrors the very migrations that helped form the ancient peoples of Europe. In a sense, the story of Japheth's descendants is not just a historical account. It is a map, a guide that explains how ancient peoples shaped the world we know today. This is not just an ancient tale. It is a story that continues to resonate in the formation of modern Europe. A prophetic blessing, Japheth's role in the rise of Europe. One of the most profound aspects of the story of Japheth is the blessing given by Noah in Genesis 9 verse 27, where Noah says, "May God enlarge Japheth and let him dwell in the tents of Shem." This verse is often seen not just as a historical observation but as a prophetic vision, one that foresees the eventual dominance of Japheth's descendants in the Western world, including Europe. This blessing, often interpreted as a prophecy, foretold the rise of European civilizations, particularly as they embraced Christianity. The spread of Christianity throughout Europe helped shape the very identity of the Western world, becoming the foundation upon which much of Europe's culture was built. The legacy of Japheth's descendants in European history. As we trace the history of Europe, we cannot ignore the powerful influence that Japheth's descendants had in shaping the continent. From the establishment of the Roman Empire to the Christianization of Europe, the descendants of Japheth played a critical role in the development of Western civilization. These peoples spread their influence across the globe, and in doing so, they carried the prophetic blessing of Noah with them. The enduring connection between faith and European development. The connection between the Bible and European history is not a mere coincidence. The story of Japheth's descendants and the blessing they received is woven into the very fabric of European identity. The migration of these peoples, along with the spread of Christianity, helped define the cultural, religious, and social structures that have lasted throughout history. The question now becomes, how can we view the story in a new light to better understand the relationship between the Bible and European history? The story of Japheth's descendants is not just a historical account, it's a key that unlocks new insights into how Europe was shaped by ancient migrations, cultural exchange, and the spread of faith. The role of Christianity in the fulfillment of prophecy. One of the most fascinating aspects of the biblical story is how the prophecy of Japheth's descendants was fulfilled over time. Christianity, which played a central role in shaping Europe's identity, has roots deeply embedded in this ancient prophecy. As European nations grew, so did the spread of Christianity, making it an inseparable part of European civilization. In the early centuries of European history, the spread of Christianity brought about profound transformations. This religion not only provided spiritual guidance but also shaped the very foundations of European societies. From the fall of the Roman Empire to the rise of medieval kingdoms, Christianity was the unifying force that connected diverse cultures and peoples under one faith. From empire to faith, the European identity. As the story of Japheth's descendants unfolds, we see how their descendants formed empires and led religious missions. The Roman Empire, in particular, played a key role in the spread of Christianity throughout Europe. As the empire expanded, it carried the teachings of Christ far beyond its borders, setting the stage for the spread of Christian values across the continent. This transition from empire to faith is crucial in understanding how Europe's identity was formed. Christianity not only brought religious unity but also influenced European laws, cultural values, and social structures. The Christianization of Europe was not just a religious movement, it was a cultural revolution that shaped the values and traditions that persist today. The prophecy of Japheth, a blueprint for European expansion. As we trace the centuries of European history, we begin to see a pattern emerge. Japheth's prophecy, the idea of expansion and influence, became a key part of European development. European nations, particularly from the 15th century onward, led the world in exploration, colonization, and empire building. As European nations spread across the globe, they brought their faith with them, further fulfilling the prophecy of Japheth's descendants. From the age of exploration to the establishment of global empires, Europeans carried their cultural and religious values wherever they went. The influence of Japheth's descendants on the world stage is undeniable, and the story of their rise is intricately linked to the spread of Christianity and the values it instilled. The European Renaissance, a rebirth of faith and culture. Another critical moment in European history that ties back to Japheth's prophecy is the Renaissance. This period of rebirth saw a renewed interest in classical learning and Christian values. The Renaissance brought about a flourishing of the arts, sciences, and philosophy, all deeply rooted in Christian thought. During this time, European nations not only advanced in knowledge and culture but also redefined their religious and moral values. The Renaissance is seen as the culmination of centuries of European development, much of which had been shaped by Japheth's descendants and their commitment to the spread of Christianity. Japheth's legacy in modern Europe. As we look at modern Europe today, we can see how the legacy of Japheth's descendants continues to influence the continent. The European Union, for example, represents a unity of nations that are deeply tied to Christian values and principles. From art to architecture and law to education, Japheth's legacy is still alive in the way Europe shapes its identity. Yet, the influence of Japheth's descendants is not limited to religious beliefs alone. Their contributions to art, literature, and philosophy have helped define the modern world. From Shakespeare to Bach, from the scientific revolutions of Galileo to the moral philosophies of Kant, the intellectual and cultural foundations of Europe can be traced back to the early migrations and settlements of Japheth's descendants. Faith and identity, the connection between past and present. The story of Japheth's descendants is not just an ancient history lesson, it is a profound reflection of how faith, culture, and identity intersect. The Bible's genealogies offer us a window into the past, but they also challenge us to reflect on the present and the future. As we contemplate the development of European nations, we must ask ourselves, what is the true nature of identity? Is it merely a result of migration and historical circumstance, or is it shaped by deeper spiritual and cultural forces? The Bible as a mirror for European culture. The Bible, with its rich history and profound prophecies, serves as more than just a religious text. It is a mirror reflecting the formation and development of great nations. The story of Japheth and his descendants is a key part of that mirror, showing us the cultural and spiritual roots that have shaped Europe's identity. By studying these biblical genealogies, we gain a deeper understanding of how faith and history are intertwined. The rise of European civilization is not only the story of migration and empire building, it is also the story of a faith that shaped the very foundation of culture, governance, and society. As we reflect on this profound journey through history, we must also look forward. The legacy of Japheth's descendants continues to influence Europe today, but the question remains, what role will faith play in the future of Europe? Will the lessons of the past continue to guide Europe as it navigates an increasingly complex and interconnected world? Will the teachings of Christianity continue to shape the identity of future generations? As we ponder these questions, let us remember that the story of Japheth and his descendants is more than just a biblical tale, it is a powerful message about the enduring strength of faith and culture. The legacy of Japheth's prophecy in the modern world. As we move into the modern age, the prophecy of Japheth continues to resonate through the legacy left by his descendants. The global influence of European nations and their cultural, political, and religious contributions all speak to the truth of the prophecy Noah gave to Japheth. From the spread of Christianity to the rise of powerful European empires, Japheth's descendants have shaped not only the past but also the present and the future of the Western world. European empires, the spread of Japheth's legacy. One cannot ignore the impact of European exploration and colonization, which carried Japheth's descendants far beyond their ancestral lands. As empires such as the British, French, and Spanish expanded across the globe, they spread Christianity along with their influence. This created connections between distant lands and Europe, bridging cultures, peoples, and ideas in ways that were previously unimaginable. The spread of Christianity, which began with the apostles and later flourished in the heart of Europe, became the foundation upon which entire civilizations were built. It was in the values of compassion, justice, and community that European nations found not only a moral compass but also the framework for governance and law. These Christian ideals formed the backbone of European culture and governance and continue to influence political and legal systems to this very day. The intellectual revolution, from Japheth to the Enlightenment. The intellectual and cultural revolutions that shaped modern Europe also have their roots in the ancient prophecy of Japheth. From the Renaissance to the Enlightenment, the idea that faith and reason could coexist took root in Europe. Philosophers, scientists, and artists across the continent began to challenge traditional views, exploring new ways of thinking and understanding the world. Yet, even in their groundbreaking work, many of these intellectuals were deeply influenced by the moral teachings of Christianity. The Renaissance, often regarded as a rebirth of classical learning, was also a period of great spiritual awakening. Artists like Michelangelo, Leonardo da Vinci, and Raphael infused their work with Christian symbolism, while philosophers such as Thomas Aquinas and Augustine drew upon biblical teachings to shape Western thought. As Europe moved into the Enlightenment, thinkers like Voltaire, Rousseau, and John Locke shaped the modern concepts of liberty, equality, and fraternity, concepts that continue to define European values and identity. These revolutionary ideas were, in many ways, a continuation of the biblical themes of human dignity, justice, and the pursuit of truth that had been passed down through generations from Japheth's descendants. Europe's cultural and religious identity, shaped by prophecy. It's important to recognize that the cultural and religious identity of Europe today is not the result of a single historical event or a series of isolated incidents. Instead, it is the culmination of centuries of faith, migrations, and cultural exchanges that were foretold by Japheth's prophecy in the Bible. From the fall of empires to the rise of new nations, the spiritual and cultural legacy of Japheth's descendants has continued to guide Europe's course. The cities of Rome, Paris, London, and Berlin, which were once the seats of mighty empires, are now centers of art, culture, and learning. Yet, even as they evolve, these cities retain their Christian heritage, and the influence of Japheth's descendants can still be felt in their religious traditions, architectural marvels, and societal values. The European Union, a modern expression of Japheth's prophecy. In the 21st century, Europe stands as a beacon of unity and cooperation, particularly through the European Union. Formed after centuries of wars and division, the European Union represents a new vision of unity and peace for the continent. This modern union of European nations reflects the same spirit of cooperation and shared purpose that Japheth's descendants may have envisioned centuries ago. The EU, much like the Roman Empire before it, serves as a testament to the enduring strength of the values passed down from Japheth's descendants. Christian values continue to play a role in shaping European policy and social norms, from human rights to social justice and the protection of the weak. Is the story of Japheth's descendants still relevant today? As we look at the world today, it is natural to ask, does the story of Japheth and his descendants still matter in our modern world? The answer is yes, and in more ways than we may realize. The lessons of faith, the teachings of Christianity, and the legacy of Japheth's descendants continue to shape the hearts and minds of millions of people across Europe and beyond. Whether we are discussing cultural preservation, moral values, or global diplomacy, the lessons from Japheth's legacy continue to guide us. In an age of unprecedented change and technological advancement, the timeless truths of the Bible offer a steady foundation for how we navigate the complexities of the modern world. A call to understand and embrace the past. As we conclude this journey through history, we are reminded that the Bible is not just an ancient text, it is a living document that continues to shape our world today. The story of Japheth and his descendants is a story of faith, migration, and prophecy, one that has left an indelible mark on Europe's past, present, and future. We must remember that the Bible, with its deep wisdom, can guide us in our search for meaning and purpose in a rapidly changing world. The prophecy of Japheth is not merely a historical artifact. It is a call to reflect on the importance of faith, identity, and unity in our lives. As Europe continues to evolve, the legacy of Japheth's descendants serves as a reminder of the importance of faith, culture, and history in shaping our world. It invites us to reflect on our own journeys and consider how we, too, can contribute to the ongoing story of humanity. The future of Europe continuing the legacy. As we stand at the crossroads of the modern world, the question arises, what is the future of Europe and how does the legacy of Japheth's descendants shape this future? The Europe of today is vastly different from the Europe of the past, yet the influence of ancient prophecies, especially the biblical story of Japheth, continues to reverberate. In a world that is increasingly interconnected, Europe is facing new challenges: globalization, migration, technological advancements, and political shifts that will undoubtedly reshape the continent's future. However, despite these changes, the foundational values that have shaped Europe for centuries, values that stem from the teachings of Christianity and the cultural heritage passed down through Japheth's descendants, remain deeply embedded in the continent's identity. The legacy of faith, morality, and cultural unity continues to provide a foundation upon which European societies are built. The Christian values that first took root in the heart of Europe during the spread of Christianity are still present today, guiding the ethical and social compass of many European nations. The role of faith in modern Europe. In the 21st century, faith remains a cornerstone of European identity even as society becomes more secular. Though the landscape of Europe has evolved, the spiritual roots of the continent have not faded. The churches, cathedrals, and religious institutions across Europe serve as enduring symbols of the deep connection between faith and culture. These structures represent more than just places of worship, they are testaments to the strength and resilience of the Christian tradition that has shaped Europe's values for centuries. Despite the secularization of many European nations, faith in the form of Christian teachings, moral values, and community building still plays a role in shaping the hearts and minds of many Europeans. These values continue to influence political decisions, social policies, and the ethical framework that guides the lives of millions. As Europe grapples with the challenges of modernity, the question arises, can the lessons of faith and history provide the answers to these challenges? The answer, I believe, lies in the enduring strength of the prophecies passed down from Japheth's descendants. Japheth's legacy and global unity. As the story of Japheth's descendants unfolds, we begin to see how this ancient prophecy of expansion and influence resonates not only in Europe but across the world. From the global spread of Christianity to the formation of international alliances, the descendants of Japheth have left an indelible mark on the world stage. One such example of this global influence is the European Union, a union of nations that, despite their differences, share common values rooted in Christian principles such as unity, peace, and justice. The EU's foundation is not merely political or economic, it is built on the same spiritual ideals that have shaped European history, creating a common ground for diverse nations to collaborate and build a better future together. Europe's role in the global community is ever-evolving, and the influence of Japheth's descendants continues to guide their actions on the world stage. As nations increasingly cooperate and unite, the ideals of justice, compassion, and mutual respect, values deeply rooted in Christianity, continue to shape the policies and actions of Europe's leaders. Reflecting on the prophecy, how it shapes our world. The prophecy of Japheth's descendants is not merely a relic of the past, it is a living, breathing force that continues to shape our world today. The global impact of European nations, particularly in the spread of Christianity and Western values, is a testament to the truth of this ancient prophecy. As we reflect on the story of Japheth and his descendants, we must ask ourselves, what is our role in carrying this legacy forward? The Bible is not just a collection of ancient stories, it is a roadmap for how we live our lives, how we interact with one another, and how we navigate the complex issues facing our world today. Japheth's legacy teaches us that faith, unity, and cultural identity are the pillars that support a strong, thriving society. Whether we are living in Europe or elsewhere, the lessons passed down through the generations continue to guide our decisions, shape our communities, and influence the way we approach the challenges of the modern world. Faith in a changing world, a call to action. The world today is changing faster than ever before. But in the midst of this change, the lessons of the Bible and the prophecy of Japheth remind us that certain principles remain timeless. Faith, love, and hope are not fleeting. They are the bedrock upon which strong, lasting societies are built. As we look to the future of Europe and indeed the world, we must reflect on the role that faith and spirituality play in shaping our destiny. The story of Japheth's descendants is not just about the past, it is a call to action for all of us. It invites us to continue the work that has been laid before us, to live out the values of unity, compassion, and justice that have been passed down from generation to generation. The legacy of Japheth's descendants is not just about the past, it is a living, dynamic force that continues to influence our world today. And it is up to us, as inheritors of this legacy, to carry it forward with faith, hope, and determination. Final thoughts, reflecting on our shared legacy. As we conclude this journey through the story of Japheth's descendants, we are reminded that we are part of a larger story, a story of faith, culture, and prophecy that stretches back to the dawn of civilization. The legacy of Japheth and his descendants continues to shape our world today, from the foundations of European civilization to the global influence of Western ideals. But the story is not over. Our journey continues. As we move forward, let us remember that the faith, values, and cultural traditions that have been passed down to us are the keys to understanding the present and shaping the future. So let us continue to walk in faith, honoring the lessons of the past while embracing the challenges of the future. The story of Japheth's descendants is not just history, it is a living prophecy that will continue to guide us for generations to come. As we close this chapter, let us take a moment to reflect on the profound implications of the story we've explored. The Bible, and specifically the story of Japheth's descendants, reveals more than just ancient migrations. It shows us how faith, history, and culture are interwoven to shape the world we live in today. The prophecies that were given thousands of years ago about the rise of European nations are not just historical records, they are living, breathing lessons. These lessons teach us about faith, identity, and community, lessons that are just as relevant today as they were in ancient times. So, how can we apply these lessons in our own lives? The answer lies in embracing our faith, reflecting on the history that shapes us, and recognizing that we are all part of a much larger story. Just as Japheth's descendants carried their legacy across the world, we too must carry forward the values of love, unity, and compassion. A final word: the enduring power of faith. The story of Japheth and his descendants is a reminder that faith is timeless. It has the power to shape nations, guide civilizations, and influence the hearts and minds of people across generations. Whether we are part of Europe or beyond, the values passed down through this biblical story are meant for all of humanity. As we face new challenges in our ever-changing world, we can look to the lessons of the Bible to guide us. The prophecies, the stories, and the teachings of the Bible are more than just ancient words. They are the foundation of our shared humanity. So, as we move forward, let us remember, the story of Japheth is not just about the past, it is a powerful message for our present and our future. Let it inspire us to continue living with faith, hope, and love, and to seek unity and peace in all our endeavors. Now, I'd love to hear from you. What do you think about the connection between the Bible and the development of Europe? Do you believe the story of Japheth's descendants continues to shape the identity of modern Europe today? Please drop your thoughts and comments below. Let's continue this conversation together. And if you're intrigued by how biblical prophecies shape modern culture, don't forget to subscribe and stay tuned for our next video. We'll be diving deeper into the influence of the Bible on today's global society. Thank you for watching, and may the stories of our past continue to inspire our future.